So, Steve, a big night for Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, look, a couple ways to look at this. First of all, the 51% he finishes with. The previous record in an Iowa Republican caucus was 41%. You mentioned 2000, George W. Bush. He had 41%. Then Bush won Iowa. Trump 10 points north of that. And the margin of victory here, it's basically 30 points Trump over DeSantis. The previous record for a margin of victory in Iowa was 12 points. Bob Dole over Pat Robertson back in 1988. So these numbers here that Trump did vastly exceed anything we've seen in an Iowa Republican caucus before. Here's an interesting one. It is as close for Donald Trump to being a 99-county sweep of the state as you can get.
All right, my friends, J.R. Dukes with you once again. Appreciate you joining me. I'm here to provide you with commentary for a better life. When you understand better, you can live better. I want to tell you I appreciate each and every one of my free-minded friends joining me. What a great night for Donald Trump, the next president of the United States. In Iowa, he had a fantastic night, and we have to go ahead and take a quick peek and see exactly how it turned out. Well, as you can see on your screen right here, Donald Trump with a commanding win. As of right now, 51% of the vote. Rob DeSantis, 21.2%. Nikki Haley, 19.1%. Ramaswamy, 7.7%. And, of course, our buddy Hutchison at a dismal 0.2%. You may be aware that Vivek has went ahead and dropped out. He has unconditionally and fully thrown his support behind the next president, Donald Trump. The liberal media is trying to spin this in so many different ways, telling you things like, look, this was not such a great win because it's a 14% less turnout. What they forget to tell you is that the weather conditions were extremely cold, the coldest in voting history. Some of the roads were impassable or downright unsafe to travel on, yet people were motivated enough to show up, go out and caucus for President Donald Trump. And they also forget to tell you that if you added up all the votes of his challengers, Donald Trump beat them all by 2 to 3%. Now that is a win. I would be happy with that if I was Donald Trump. Well, let's get right into today's video. We are kind of in the middle of this. I wanted to have a liberal, woke media because I want to dissect this a little bit with you. Here we go.
So, a fascinating night to study the Republican Party, problems ahead in a general, perhaps, if they stick with Donald Trump. But let's go over to Steve Kornacki. He's still, I think, from last night at the big board. He's, of course, the NBC News national political correspondent. So, Steve, a big night for Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, look, a couple ways to look at this. First of all, the 51% he finishes with. The previous record in an Iowa Republican caucus was 41%. You mentioned 2000, George W. Bush. He had 41%. Then Bush won Iowa. Trump 10 points north of that. And the margin of victory here, it's basically 30 points Trump over DeSantis. The previous record for a margin of victory in Iowa was 12 points. Bob Dole over Pat Robertson back in 1988. So these numbers here that Trump did vastly exceed anything we've seen in an Iowa Republican caucus before. Here's an interesting one. It is as close for Donald Trump to being a 99-county sweep of the state as you can get without actually getting a 99-county sweep. And what I mean is look at the one county that is not Trump's shade of red on here. It's Johnson County, where Iowa City and the University of Iowa are. And look at the result here. Donald Trump lost it to Nikki Haley by a single vote. So Donald Trump literally came one single vote away from going 99 for 99 in Iowa.
That's really amazing when you think about it. That happens to be basically what we would call a college town. So you had a lot of young, educated Republican voters, and Nikki Haley was able to squeak out a win by one vote. Now, a win is a win, so congratulations to her. That is the only county that Donald Trump did not carry by one single vote.
Last night here, just in terms of why DeSantis was able to edge out Haley for second place. Look, compared to Trump, it's not really a stronger breakout showing for either one of them, just given the history we talked about. But why was DeSantis able to edge out second place? Essentially, it's this, that Haley had, and we talked about this yesterday in the run-up to this, the polls were suggesting this, Haley had a coalition that was dependent on college-educated, on independents, on non-Republicans, on higher income voters. They are concentrated around the state capital, Des Moines, Polk County, Dallas County, west of that, Johnson County, which I just showed you that Nikki Haley did carry by a vote. Those are the kinds of places, Story County, Ames, where Iowa State University is, those are the kinds of places. She did well, very well last night in a couple places there. Maybe not quite as well as she wanted, but she was certainly very competitive. Where the floor fell out for Haley and where DeSantis ran up numbers on her, there's a lot of small rural counties throughout the state that individually don't add up to much in terms of the statewide vote, but that collectively, you don't even see Haley in the top 4 in this county. She finished behind Ramaswamy. Take a look at Ringgold County here. Again, Haley, single digits. DeSantis getting blown out.
Yeah, he really tears into this as to exactly what the breakdown is. But the bottom line is Donald Trump has run away with this thing. I mean, that is a decisive victory. And there's one or two more things I want to go over on here, and we're going to pick it up right about here.
Is fit to be president. So this party, by the way, that's among all voters. Among Trump voters, those numbers go way up even higher. So they have bought his story. They have bought his version of events inside the party.
Well, we've been seeing this for a long time, Willie. In fact, I think it's a story that's fundamental to Donald Trump's dominance that we saw last night and his dominance in the national polls right now. It's that core Republican voters see the legal situation around Trump. And I know there's all sorts of different areas here. I'll just say the legal situation to keep it simple. But they see the legal situation as an attack, as a politically motivated attack on Donald Trump. You can make up your own mind whether that's fair or not, but look at this. I think this tells the story. This is the trend line of the national Republican race from the very beginning of 2023 until we are this morning. And again, this is like, it wasn't that long ago, but I want to remind folks, in the early months of 2023 and the last month of 2022, December 2022, coming off that 2022 midterm where the Republicans underperformed, where the Trump-aligned candidates lost key races that cost Republicans the Senate and other major offices, Trump was running. This is the national average. DeSantis never caught him in the national average, but we would routinely see polls in January and February of 2023 that had DeSantis within 10 points. Now had DeSantis ahead nationally of Donald Trump. Right. The atmosphere in early 23 was, well, Republicans are moving on from Trump. They're sick of the losing. They've had years of this act. They're going to look for other options here. That's why so many candidates step forward. And look where the lines diverge. Look where the Trump line takes off. Look where the DeSantis line kind of flatlines and nobody's moved up. What week was that? That is literally the week that Donald Trump was indicted on the first of the charges in Manhattan on the Stormy Daniels matter. And there was, it's unquestionable to me when you look at these numbers and if you were to apply all the little legal dates that popped up throughout the year to this, they triggered a rally around Trump effect among core Republicans. I say again, they clearly see this as politically motivated. They see this as Trump's opponents using the legal system to go after him, and they responded that way by rallying around him. You literally see it. Wow. The week.
That's exactly right. That is exactly one of the main things about this election. I called this on one of my previous videos back at that particular time. You are welcome to go back and take a look at it because I've repeatedly stated it. When they went after Donald Trump, the election was over. One of my videos is titled something to the effect of, "It's over. Trump has won." And I firmly believe that. With that first crazy indictment out of the city of New York, that Alvin Bragg on the something to do with records or false records, it's a complete junk case. They think you're stupid. They think I'm stupid. They think we're uneducated. They think we just don't get it. We're not worthy to go ahead and have the right to vote. So they are trying to do everything they can do to take Donald Trump out. They accuse Donald Trump of election interference, yet it is them that is engaging as a system in prima facie election interference. The irony could not be any thicker or clearer. They don't want you to have a right to vote. This is not really about Donald Trump's right to run. It's about your and my right to vote, and they don't get it. The Democrats, these woke liberals, the legacy media, they don't get this. They simply are walking around like blind fools wondering what is going on. Why do people love and like Donald Trump so much? And when they indicted him, it just sealed it that much quicker, that much faster, because people want a way to give these woke individuals the middle finger. And Donald Trump is the biggest middle finger that we can give the establishment. They have chosen under Joe Biden's administration to weaponize our judiciary system on the state, federal level. And we are tired of this. We're tired of the lies. We're tired of the being told we're stupid, like the big lie that, we basically have this climate change garbage going on. And if you don't believe it, you're a climate denier, you're an election denier. We're tired of the January 6th being crammed down our throats every time they have an opportunity to speak. It is so biased. We all know it. They just pretend that they don't get it, that they don't understand. Well, this was the first step in these individuals getting it, because come this November, they're going to get it. We're going to send Donald Trump back to the White House. What a great night last night was. Folks, if you're still with me, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to like, subscribe, share this with anybody and everybody you think might need to hear this message. We have to break through this indoctrination. It is so important. So please help me along in that endeavor. Okay, so as I always say, keep that mind free. Never give up, my friends. And until next time, I am J.R. Dukes.